Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition of the Muslim SOS with myself, Salih Williams, and our usual crew, Maulana Ismail Tawfi and Maulana Shoaib Appleby. Today we will discuss an issue that has recently popped up in our community, and I'm sure out there in the world these things have also popped up, and that is the issue of the Adhan, where in South Africa a landmark verdict was issued that an Adhan was banned in a certain community, and that is quite something worth our attention. As Adhan in Islam is treated as one of the sha'air, as one of the signposts of Islam in a community. So it's something that hits at the heart of any Muslim community, and the issue is still quite hot. So we're just discussing that tonight, inshallah, and we'll see how far we get. So, gentlemen, where do we take this from? The verdict that was issued, was it? I know it was an individual that had a problem with the Adhan or something to that effect.
Yeah, what was the complaint again? I think it was like his rights being violated? Or
yeah, I think his personal space. Because, and the Adhan creating a sort of an Islamic vibe in the area.
Yeah,
so
I think
the Adhan, in the area, creates in his understanding and his reasoning. And more important, he did he actually took the proactive step of going to the authorities and successfully getting the Adhan banned. So,
well, was it banned, or was it just like limited to?
The Adhan itself is not banned, but over a microphone. It must not be heard by the person residing about 20 meters away from the Talimuddin institution, madrasa, and so. So technically, you can make Adhan, but it mustn't be over where other person can hear you. Okay, that is how it's understood in his private space. And others go further about not amplified noise. Amplified.
Basically, I overstated a bit. But saying it's banned or what?
Well, that is how it's portrayed. It's been banned because you can't hear it. So it's no more in the public, it's in the private. For example, you could have been a supporter of the ANC and the PAC when they were banned, but as long as you don't put any public posters that displays their names or any kind of public image.
So you can call the Adhan in your home all you want,
but it must not be heard. It mustn't be outside. So effectively you can say basically it's banned because Islam was banned and you couldn't practice it in the public, you had to practice it in the private. Islam was banned in USSR, you had to practice it in the private. And they shouldn't see that you are practicing it or any signs of.
But then how does this affect living in a democratic country where freedom of religion is allowed, and especially a country that came from a apartheid regime, being oppressed and all those things. Muslims coming here in the early 1700s. Not having the right to practice Islam freely, and then eventually getting that right, by building the first mosque masjid in Awal Masjid in Cape Town, and then going through that whole history, establishing Islam, freedom of religion, freedom, everyone practicing their religion. And I remember a time when in school, where even as we had the Bible study, and you had to pray and all those things, and we come a long way,
with religious freedom.
with the religious freedom, So now at this day and age, and I think it was a Hindu gentleman.
Yeah, but this ironically, you're saying that, but this gentleman is arguing that same point. His freedom is being infringed upon by the
freedom of?
Of privacy and these things, So the religious freedom, according to his understanding, is going over because the Adhan, so to say, and the existence of this madrasa is creating a whole Islamic
atmosphere, yeah, as he puts it. I think he's
religious freedom.
yeah, he went a bit too far also. But I think what I've heard today about other Hindus and other non-Muslims going around in the area, playing the Adhan in the area, shows that they also not standing for this type of mentality that this individual has. And it's a bit shocking to me because I've always lived amongst Muslims, non-Muslims, you know, in the area like where we come from in Cape Town. So this is a bit of a, you know, a game changer, landmark.
Yeah, look, this is I think one thing we do learn is this man has used his right, you know, and went to the proper authorities and get the job done according to what he wanted to be effected. You know? So yeah, actually, as you know, the narrative as we understand it, I understand it. He did it manually. You know, I don't see any lobby group or no support group.
That's the amazing part.
It could be something else, but I'm getting it that he went about it all alone.
And what is more interesting, the judge gave a verdict in his favor.
Yeah.
He didn't look at the secular democracy or this our secular secular existence here, because technically, yes, there's no religious in the public sphere according to secular understanding, but there's also another interpretation of secular is that all religions or whatever, they can exist, coexist in a community as long as there's no violence. There's no fighting or there's no discrimination or something of that nature. So freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of expression is allowed in any way you want to do it, as long as it does not harm another person. Like a freedom of speech, you can say whatever you want to, as long as it's not inciting towards violence
or discrimination
of the person. So in this effect, freedom of religion is supposed to be protecting the features, or how do you say, salient features of Islam, the sha'air of Islam, the symbols of Islam, which is the Adhan. And what is remarkable in the debate in the 60s, when they were discussing Muslims living in South Africa, one of the Sheikh Ahmed Bihadin of that time, he said that because the Adhan is made publicly and you're allowed to make salah, us living here is interpreted to be like a Darul Islam. And that is also one. So this is established because the sha'air of Islam is made public. It's not closed down or so. So that was in apartheid government. Right? They deprive you of rights and deprive you of many things and oppression and that stuff. In this case here now, where the aim and objective of the Bill of Rights and the Constitution was to protect the rights of a community, of a people, of citizens. So as citizens of South Africa, we're supposed to have been protected by the law and not discriminated against.
Well, that's alluding to another question, you know, are we actually moving forward or backwards?
Yeah,
I mean, in the apartheid regime, when we were oppressed, Adhan wasn't banned. Or there was no call for it to be banned.
Or there was no this issue or so. But now, say we can move to democracy.
Yeah, now
right?
these things become issues.
Now, the issue is no more now about Muslim or not Muslim and that stuff. We're citizens. We're secular now, citizens, okay? Now, the right for you to have a religion is protected by the Constitution. So I'm Muslim. So my Islam allows me to do this, and it says, it prescribes to me, I must make Adhan and this thing. Now, irrespective of what you want to ask about what Islam says about these issues of a jurisprudential nature, the point is that freedom of religion allows me to give expression of my faith. And the freedom is protected, that if this is part of my religion, as we mentioned, is a feature of your Islamic identity, then you must make Adhan. So the person cannot...
Maulana, what you saying there, this verdict that was passed, or this law or whatever verdict that came about with regards to Adhan, could actually affect, in my opinion, many religions, if not all. Right? Because any religion that, or a tradition that practice their beliefs or their tradition where there's a loud sound,
The singing,
yeah,
the song,
it affects the kaapse klopse. One person can say something about it, then it's done. It affects church. People like here in Cape Town, we have the what you call it, buite opelig or what you call it,
preaching on the streets,
preaching in the street, open air church.
There we go.
Right? And it goes on for an hour or two long. Right?
Yeah,
and it's over loudspeakers. It can affect that. It can affect the church bells. It can affect events. I've been to up north where I've heard the Africans playing their traditional, hitting of the drums and so on. And it was quite loud. We were in the masjid and we could hear it from a distance, them practicing whatever the tradition is. So even that could be affected by this, because if this is allowed, it will affect, and I'm guessing this is why the Hindus and all the non-Muslims in that particular area, they stood up, because I think they also realized that this will have a bearing on their religious freedom as well.
Yeah, this is why it's important to, what is actually interesting is that on the City of Cape Town website, when you come to this noise thing, when it explains about noise pollution, although in this case it's a different topic, but noise pollution, noise nuisance, noise disturbance, then they actually mention noise disturbance and list an example as being the call to pray and the ringing of the bell, the church bells, the City of Cape Town on the website.
So the City of Cape Town does that, but not according to law.
Not law, they just give an example.
So they make, what they could perceive
what to be. But it was interesting, Mona mentioned, they link it to the church bells, and they link it to the
call to prayer.
Call to prayer.
But that's not the noise.
That's correct, and that is not even defined by the law itself, the bylaws and the noise laws and that stuff. They give examples in it, and none of that is referring to Adhan or to the church bells and that stuff. So
yeah,
why they related to noise and to disturbance and to a nuisance and that kind of stuff. So whereas in the secular system, it's supposed to protect, and it does protect. It's not biased towards any specific religion. So it protects all the religious entities and that kind of stuff.
Everyone equally.
Equally. So in this way also, to stop the Adhan, you stop the church bells. But like we say, they already alluding that you both can be stopped. So if we're not careful, then everyone will fall in the same boat. And that is why it's important as citizens of South Africa to work together to protect our rights and our religious freedom. And this is more what is important for us to mention. Look, this Hindu person, or maybe some people say he's not a real Hindu, but anyhow, he's described like that in the media, and himself described himself that way. But he took the initiative to go to the court to stop it. As we know, we're sitting in problems in Cape Town and other way, people complain about Adhan and stuff, and yet nothing's legislated. So he is actually teaching us what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be going to the courts to ensure that our rights are protected, and its legislation will follow that kind of procedure and request and verdict. So this, in a way, is almost like a how we call it. It's like a blessing in disguise. It's awakening, teaching us what we can do, what we're supposed to be doing to protect our rights. So in the same way, it's important for us, through the appeal courts, to support it, to ensure that the verdict given is in favor of Adhan to be made. Once that is there, then no bylaw, no other law will be able to override what the court has decided.
Yeah.
And then we will have none of this kind of problems we're facing now at the moment.
There is an appeal happening.
Yeah, there is one.
Yes.
Some lawyers and the attorneys and lawyers were actually surprised at this.
In actual fact, this is about one of 3 cases where the Adhan is being put under.
But this was a court ruling, which is more like effectual thing. The others is like when people complain about noise and sound.
So it's more easier to
this one here.
The noise ones are more easier to work around.
No, the problem that people have with the noise one is that they don't like the idea that they've been told that the Adhan is a noise.
Okay.
So the problem is that actually it doesn't matter about it because there's no clarity in the law, the Bible or whatever law. So it's for us also to take the initiative to ensure that it's written that Adhan or any religious call to pray or any religious activities or such is either exempted or excluded from this. Or something is given to allow it clause to say it's okay. But at the moment now, it's no use we're also complaining and we're doing all the stuff when we're not exercising our rights as citizens. Not as minority, not as this, not as that.
Because
as citizens of a country.
As we speak, that verdict stands.
Yeah. So, I think Molina Molina is raising a mouth.
Yes, and I'm just saying the verdict stands. So
the verdict stands.
That's the status quo. It still has to be overturned. If it stands, it's going to be something to do with
the appeal court doesn't. The appeal court doesn't allow. If it doesn't, if there's fine in favor, they dismiss the appeal. No? So in all these cases, it shows that we ourselves must take lesson from.
Of course.
That no matter how we talk, how we argue with each other, how we take each other to court, how we're wasting our resources on trying to score points with each other, Muslims taking Muslims to court, Muslims trying to undermine each other in different ways, with religious or whatever.
So this is something worthwhile to fight.
This year is what we're supposed to be showing, is that our rights should be protected. And we shouldn't wait anymore for politics and for elections and this kind of stuff, because in politicians and political parties, if they find something in parliament doesn't go right with them, they take it to the court. So here we need to be proactive. We need to move in direction. We approach the court to ensure that the rights, our rights as citizens, are protected. And freedom of religion is one of the rights. And so we need to approach the court and we need to organize ourselves in this manner, and that will be money better spent and more effective. Because every time is this, we've been having this complaint about the Adhan. So we raise the issue once and for all through the democratic institutions, which is the court, and we see what happens in. And this applies maybe for anything else that we need as citizens. We need to know this is our right. Now we're not, here is a difference also I need to bring to a point. Every time we don't exercise our rights as citizens, so we take the initiative to lower it. There's nothing defined yet for Adhan. What is it? Disabled and that stuff. There's nothing defined. No one is restricting us from making Adhan. Nothing like that. There's no law against it. So but we do it out of our humbleness, our humility, our easiness. But what we need to understand is not about ourselves as individuals. As individuals, we can talk nice to each other, find a solution, and we can bring. This is an institution that is connected to Islam and to the Muslims, to freedom of religion. If you make Adhan, then this is one of the salient features of the Muslim community. It's part of the democracy also.
To indicate also, Maulana, many times that it is part of, it's a salient feature, is even when you watch a movie sometimes, the first thing they do when they enter into a Islamic area, to show that it's an Islamic area, they in the background they play the Adhan. So even on movies they will show you.
Especially in action movies.
Yes, they will show you. Yes, the Adhan going on in Muslim area. So it is a salient feature for Islam, for Muslims. It is how Muslims are recognized. Like you ask anyone, a non-Muslim in Cape Town, what do you, if I should ask you, what do you recognize about Islam? What do you see as Islam? You have that man that shouts and, you know, the tuki, and, you know, they have certain things that they recognize, they connect Islam with. So it's quite strange for me that this verdict was passed. But like Maulana was saying, we have an opportunity as well as Muslims to learn from this particular
we have the same opportunity
individual.
that individual grant.
Yes.
We have the same opportunity.
We have the same opportunity, and also take the bull by the horns and, you know, just see what happens. You know, maybe because we're living in a democratic country, it's not like we're living in a dictatorship, or we're living in a, you know, a place where we're supposed to be afraid to practice your religion. You know, South Africa is a very unique country, you know, in that regard, where freedom of religion is sometimes, like I've witnessed even people like Jonathan Brown, who visited South Africa, in one of his videos that he explains to the people, he says that the community of South Africa, specifically Cape Town, is very unique. You know, the way the advances came about with regards to what they achieved for the Muslims in Cape Town, and maybe more broadly South Africa. But we came a long way, and we should take lesson, like you were saying, from this particular individual, and also try to establish ourselves as Muslims with regards to these salient features. You know, that we also establish certain things that is important to us. Like one of the other burning issues is the issue of getting some of our rights recognized within the justice system. You know, our marriages being recognized up until today, in how many years of a democratic country, our marriages is still not recognized. You know, any other traditional type of wedding is recognized in, you know, Muslims. And, you know, it's by time maybe Muslims should be proactive, like you were saying, and maybe.
So what we are saying is that we should actually move forward, man. Basically, what we are saying is that, like, the same way as individual did it, we should move forward and.
Yeah, I mean, we to what 2% they always say of 56 million people. That's how many? 2 million people somewhere.
But I don't apply that comes within the country to South Africa or to democracy. Because the democracy must give the rights of its citizens.
No, what I'm saying is in protest we can have a strong voice to protest the banning of this Adhan. You know, if all those people
stand together,
and we can show that, look, this is what this is our.
I think as a community also, I think it's time maybe we think of addressing our concerns, whatever rights we want. We feel it needs to be granted to us as citizens. I think we need to look at they are going to the court and apply and seek that as a recourse for our rights to be recognized.
Yeah, many things can be achieved that way, because we may be thinking that, look, I voted for ANC or I voted for DA and they're supposed to have my back. But in reality, all of these rights are enshrined within the Constitution, within the Bill of Rights, within law itself. You want something achieved, you don't look to DA, you don't look to ANC, you don't look to any party. You go directly to law, you make a case. And you go challenge whatever, you know, what you feel infringement that took place. So, I think that's maybe, and I definitely believe that Muslims should show their support. You know, the Hindus and the non-Muslims is showing their support for our Muslim brothers up country. Nisipingo Beach, and I think we should definitely, wherever we find ourselves, because this could be problematic for not only the Muslims but every religious person.
Okay, so that's right. Yeah, look, the appeal is happening. So there's a light, a ray of light shining through in this very dark moment.
Yeah.
So it is happening. So let's see and hope and make dua that let's make dua and pray that thing it actually pulls through, the appeal goes through. So as you said, the effect of it will cut through every religion.
Yeah.
If it stays the same. You know, as you said, the verdict is still standing. But if the appeal fails, then it could have quite a say a disastrous effect for other
Christians, Hindus, Africans, you name it, ATR religion, whatever, it's going to cut right through. Because wherever there is a loud noise,
it will apply. Yeah, so let's see how that unfolds. So that's a wrap from us.
Yeah, mouth, not loud noise, loud sound.
Yeah, loud sound, yeah. So again, just don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, engage. Anything I left out now?
Anything you would like us to react to, let us know in the comment section.
Yeah, okay then. Right.